am judging from the lowest possible rung of talent when it comes to songwriting. Like,
I'm underground. Like, if the ladder is on the ground, I'm
that
sub-earth.
witch, like, cackling, going underneath the floorboards. Like,
I have no legs to stand on.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business like show business.
Mamma mia, here I go again. My
Of the music
I went into this blind.
Totally blind. I knew Madonna was in it. I did not know that Antonio Banderas was in this. I did not know that our Governor Swan
Johnathan
was
Pryce.
in this.
I was looking at him, and he can sing.
And I was like...
I went on, like, a deep dive of his career after this. I was just like, Johnathan.
I know. Well, it's because I knew that he was a stage actor. I just didn't know that he could sing. And honestly, I think Antonio Banderas is like Hugh Jackman. He's just a musical theater boy that got caught on the wrong side of Hollywood.
He was too hot.
He was too hot.
For Hollywood to ignore.
Yeah. And he's like, I just want to tango and sing Andrew Lloyd Webber. And we're like, and I want that for you.
But first, I need you to do Zorro.
You can tango, but no singing.
Oh, yeah. No, went in totally blind. I knew Madonna was in this. And I knew that Evita was a Andrew Lloyd Webber musical about Eva Peron.
Yes.
Like, that was
And
it.
of course, we've all heard Don't Cry for Me, Argentina.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot about the history of this. Honestly, this feels like an attempted response to, like, Les Mis somehow, where they're just like, yes, history in musical format. Let's do it again. But
Did this come before or after Jesus Christ Superstar?
I don't know. One moment, please.
Because I found a lot of similarities musically, in just that it's almost entirely sung through and the same medley comes back repeatedly.
Jesus Christ Superstar, the concept album was in 1970, Broadway was 1971.
So that was before Evita.
Evita, concept album was 1976. And the West End production was 1978.
It was West End first.
When was Les Mis? Am I just completely fucking up the sequence of events? Was Les Mis after?
It was around that time.
Yeah. Oh, it came out in 1985, so I'm totally wrong.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
You're so
yeah,
wrong.
Retract all of my thing. But it felt similar, and it felt like Les Mis did it better.
Strong start. Bolt incorrect at the beginning of this.
This was fine. I didn't have any emotion attached to it.
It's one of those films where if I had been in my 20s when this came out on the West End and lived through the fervor of it on the West End and Broadway, winning all those awards, being this talked about show, and then like a superstar of the decade, Madonna, was starring in the film, I might have been more swept up in it, but I just am too far removed from it. This was not a core musical that I grew up
with this, and I think also watching this at 7:30 in the morning, I wasn't in the emotional space.
That's a choice you made.
Was. I could have watched it yesterday, but I was having a nice day doing nothing, and I was like, fuck it, I would rather wake up a little bit
I'm not gonna ruin it with a 2.5 hour musical.
And then just, like, live my life today, and then I'll just have an early morning, and it'll be fine. And it was fine.
This is such a dramatic...
There were
would have
no
been one thing
giggles.
if you had watched Mame at 7:30 in the morning. There's not this one.
There's not a single giggle in this entire goddamn movie.
No, there's no gags.
And I'm just like, man.
There's gangsters. The entire government are gangsters.
That's so true.
We don't have any goons because there was no comedic relief. And, like, I'm
There's
sure
no
there were
waiters.
waiters.
No one was harassed by the concept of musical theater.
That's true.
That's kind of my personal definition for a
the
waiter.
Definition.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just gangsters. Just gangsters and plot.
Yeah, just a lot of plot. We should start. Also, did we introduce ourselves?
Hi!
Hi!
Welcome back to 5678, a movie musical podcast. We are doing the 1996 film Evita.
Yeah.
Starring Madonna, Antonio Banderas, Johnathan Pryce, and not a single
else.
waiter to be had. Oh, God, literally, First note, speaking of Antonio Banderas, just because we're coming off the heels of Phantom, the more he sang in this film, the angrier I got that I was robbed. Me personally, I was robbed.
Me personally.
Of him as Phantom.
It would have been such an interesting choice.
Also, just because I didn't really realize we'll call it an operetta because it is 99% sung.
Yeah.
I'm even more impressed with Antonio Banderas now.
Yeah.
Because it is an entirely sung role.
Honestly, I didn't feel like he was pushing.
No.
Like, it felt really effortless. I was really impressed with him.
I was very impressed with him.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about this plot. History!
Argentina. We jump back and forth in the beginning of this film. We start in 1952 in a Buenos Aires movie theater. It's a romantic black and white film. Everyone is enraptured by it. Suddenly, the film cuts out and everyone freaks the fuck out in this movie theater. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? But then the movie theater manager comes out on stage and he says, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I need to tell you all that Eva Perón died this morning. And immediately everyone just loses their, like, weeping uncontrollably in
deep,
their seats,
like,
despondent.
Grief coming from this audience. And then we pan across the audience and there's one guy who's not crying. That is Antonio Banderas.
And he's just kind of observing everyone else lose their shit.
Yeah. And the electric guitar comes in. To which I responded, Sir Andrew, is this the time for electric guitar?
You have notes for Andrew Lloyd Webber. I have notes for Sir Tim Rice, because some of these lyrics...
Yeah, the lyrics are sus, I'm gonna be honest.
I wrote down a couple of them where I was like, that was the best you could do? And, like, listen, I am by no means a songwriter, but I watch everything with subtitles.
I am judging from the lowest possible rung of talent when it comes to songwriting. Like,
I'm underground. Like, if the ladder is on the ground, I'm that
witch,
sub-earth.
like, cackling, going underneath the floorboards. Like,
I have no legs to stand on. However, I wrote a couple of them down. We're gonna get to them.
Okay.
I have notes. Cut back in time. We are in a rural village of Chivilcoy,
something
1926.
Like that.
So we've jumped back 30 years.
Yep.
And we see a funeral procession proceeding across a dry landscape. It's a well-attended funeral.
Yeah, but it's interrupted. You hear arguing outside, and it turns out the guy who died had another family with a bunch of kids, and they're here to pay their respects. And the wife of the guy comes out and, like, doesn't want them there and refuses them entrance.
To the church where the funeral
is. They're like, we should be able to pay our respects. He was the father of my kids. Too. But they are refused entrance, and the littlest girl runs in anyway, and they yell after her, Eva. So this is Eva. So she goes in and has some flowers that she lays next to him and kisses his forehead and is dragged out by adults screaming, he's my papa, he's my papa. And then there's an abrupt cut to her funeral, which is massive.
Oh yeah, talk about juxtaposition from this small but
well-attended,
to a massive military parade funeral, thousands of people in the streets, horses and soldiers.
Like a nation in mourning. Yeah.
And you know who's not there? Antonio Banderas.
No.
He is in a bar by himself singing to us, the audience. This is our first song, and it is Oh What a Circus.
Yes. Now, his character's name is Che, and he's basically the narrator, but also the representation of the working class.
And also Che Guevara.
Well, so they changed that. So the whole deal was, like, the original concept album, his name was Che, but he wasn't a specific reference to Che Guevara. And then when it went to Broadway, I think it was Harold Prince, who was the producer, was just like, no, it should be a legitimate representation of Che Guevara. And then once they did the movie, it reverted back, because this movie was very much based on the concept album and not necessarily the stage play.
I mean, they're pretty similar plot-wise.
They are pretty similar.
The plot a lot.
But there were, like, almost 150 changes from the stage play to this movie.
Damn.
Anyway.
So in this film that we are reviewing today, Antonio Banderas' character Che is, exactly as you said, a representation of the working class, the everyman, and he serves as our narrator. And he fills in these, he might be the waiter of this film, in that he often plays, like, a side character, a waiter, but he's always around.
He always plays someone from the working class. He's mopping floors. He's the waiter. He's the revolutionary. He's the rioter.
But he's always in the room where it happens, the room where it happens. This is now Hamilton. So this song, our first song, Oh, What a Circus, Che leaves the bar and he walks through the processional but then leaves, and he is reflecting and telling us, the audience, that Eva was a force of nature in her life, but she's gone now. Her legacy is done now, and he seems a little angry and comments that everyone's soon gonna know how she actually did nothing for years. Yeah. That she's praised as this, like...
It felt like an anti-monarchist energy of... Honestly, this whole thing kind of had, like, a similar vibe to me for the Queen's death, of just, like, how it really brought out the differences in, like, the people who are against the monarchy, and also just the love for a person, and the juxtaposition between that.
Yeah, the love for a person, but disdain for their position.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
We see, in combination with the funeral, we see social unrest. We see, like, riots in the streets. And I wasn't sure if that was modern day, like present day, or flashbacks. Yeah. We do see a recurring theme, which is people of all social classes slow dancing away their grief.
Yeah, that
for the
happen.
Loss of Eva Peron. And this is when I wrote, this music has Andrew Lloyd Webber written all over it.
Yeah, and then it sort of cuts back and forth between her father's funeral and her funeral, and we do hear a verse of "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina," just sort of superimposed. Yeah, a pre-prize. That's true. So suddenly we cut back to her past, back to the future. It's 1936.
So she's a teenager now. She's like 15.
She's like 15. Which is rough. So she lives in a really small town, and she is having an affair with a traveling tango singer.
Who's pretty famous within Argentina.
Who's, like, relatively famous, yeah. Agustin Magaldi. So he's traveling around, and he ends up having an affair with her, and we see him be woken up and pulled out of bed to go and perform, and so he goes downstairs to the club and sings his most famous song, On This Night of 1,000 Stars.
And 15-year-old Eva is just infatuated.
Yeah, just loving hearing him sing, because he's, like, singing to her. So the song ends, and Eva follows him backstage, and she is like, oh, you're going back to the city, take me with you. I just
The city being Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires, Big Apple. God, that consistent phrase, Buenos Aires, Big Apple. I was like, can we switch it up a little bit? Anyway, so
she's like, you're going back there. I want you to take me with you. Yeah. He's like, hard pass. And then her family and definitely her community,
family, like,
put pressure on him. They're like, we know you're famous. Like, no one in our little town may care, but they don't really know about this affair yet. That would be bad for you if they all found out about it, huh?
Yep. He tries to convince her out of it. He's like, the city is dangerous, especially for women who have no money. You're too young, you're too naive. And she's like, I wasn't too young or naive last night. And I was like,
and this song is called Eva, Beware of the City.
Yes. So he's basically trying to warn her off, partially because he just doesn't want to take this 15-year-old that he had an affair with to the city, and partially because I actually think she's not prepared for this. But he doesn't really know her, and she's kind of a wild force of nature.
And there's an interesting line in this where he makes I don't remember what he says, but he makes a comment about the middle class. Yeah. And she very seriously, like, we've seen her kind of like be flirty and silly. She very seriously turns to him. She goes, screw the middle classes. I will never accept them. Yeah. Referencing that her father's other family, the ones that did not accept her and would not allow them to attend the funeral, were middle class. Yes. She's working class.
Yes. But eventually she just strong-arms him, and they end up going on a train and get to Buenos Aires. And she loves the city. She loves...
NYC!
Yeah, pretty much same energy of just, like, the country girl gets to New York City, where she's like, oh, I love the smell, I love the rush, and it's just like, you know, okay.
The song that she sings when they arrive.
She spins in the street. It's, like, the only musical theater moment in this entire movie is her spinning in the streets. And I was just like, ooh, you're gonna get run over by a car. Anyway, they go to a bar.
They go to a bar and she dances. Augustine just, like, hangs out at the bar, whereas Eva is just there and so full of life. She dances with a couple men. Augustine looks on, and then he makes her leave with him. Yeah. She follows him, and we cut to seeing him unlocking an apartment door, and she's like halfway up the landing, so she's down the stairs from him slightly, and he opens a door, and she hears like, Papa, Papa, and 2 little kids, I think, run out the door, hug him. He looks down at Eva on the landing, and then goes inside without inviting her in, and there's a woman there, and I'm not sure if it's his wife or like his housekeeper.
Yeah, but she's also judgy.
Yeah, and like maybe this isn't the first time that Augustine has shown up with a young girl on his coattails. But Eva's like, fuck, I got nowhere to live now.
Yep, so she goes to a bar.
Yeah, she starts to sing one of the more famous songs from... I think it's famous because it truly stands on its own as like an audition song or a cabaret song. Yeah, it's a solo song. It's not like you wouldn't do Don't Cry For Me Argentina at a cabaret.
Can
you know?
you imagine?
But this is a common song. This song is Another Suitcase in Another Hall. And you're right, she goes to a bar. Che is the bartender watching, and she sings to herself. And we get this sense that this is about to become a recurring act for her.
Event?
Yeah, event where she's surviving in this city as a young woman.
Yep.
Bed to bed with different men.
Yep. Yeah, so
and that's the thing.
Dancing.
She's just like constantly being on the move.
Yeah, with different guys. But one of the lyrics is very much like, what do I do? And it's like, you'll pull yourself together, you have before.
Yeah.
And that's like a consistent theme throughout this, where it's just, you always pull yourself forward. So we see her dancing with a bunch of different men. We see her getting rejected from a few jobs.
Yeah, she's trying to be an actress and model.
And she goes through several different relationships. And then we see her get into a relationship with a photographer who gets her her first modeling job for like a soap company. And then from that, she's able to slowly climb the ladder and like has a relationship with increasingly influential men.
Yeah, she jumps from the photographer to the director of the shoot that the photographer booked her on. From the director, she gets connected with someone who gets her a job singing on the radio. Someone in the room there hooks her up, and she hooks up with, gets her a job on a radio station. Yeah. And she's just climbing her way in a way that is just how she needed to survive.
This song is called Good Night and Thank You, which is pretty much like Thank You Next. And it's Che mostly singing this.
Yes, to these disheartened lovers.
Every single disheartened lover. It's just like, good night, thank you, but you're in her way now.
Yeah, you served your purpose.
Yeah,
Don't let the door hit you on the way out. And she does leave a little bit of like a trail of confused and sad men in her wake.
Sad men, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I got things to do.
A riot breaks out. Explosions. Cops in the streets. It's a military coup.
It's 1943. She's been in Buenos Aires for a couple years now. There's tanks, explosions, civil unrest, police beating protesters.
Yes.
And we have Che. I just wrote Mr. Banderas. We have Che singing the song "The Lady's Got Potential," and I wasn't sure that this was the same song because I was following along on the soundtrack just so I did because this is such an operatic film. And it doesn't start off, but like the chorus of this song is that the lady's got potential.
Yeah, and so this song was really interesting because it's not in the musical. There was supposed to originally be some sort of another plot line about Che developing an insecticide.
What?
Oh yeah, and it was supposed to be like a comparison to these flies dying to the death of democracy, and that's supposed to be the lady's got potential. But that got cut from the show, but then they brought it back here but rewrote the entire concept. So that's, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, the song is Che commenting on the fact that was a military coup.
Yeah.
And we're going through like a lot of political unrest as presidents come and go, like revolving doors around here.
Yeah.
But during this, we also learn that her star is even continuing to rise, and she's now acting in movies. She's not a
badly.
good actor.
Yeah.
She's got friends in high places. Like, she has government officials attending her film shoots and like clapping for her, like clearly enamored
now the director's
of her.
Not happy, and one of my fun facts is that the director in this moment who's unhappy with her acting is the director of this movie.
Oh, I love that. That's so funny. I love little cameos like that.
Yeah. So obviously she has friends in high places, so they are the ones who keep forcing her star to rise, despite the fact that she's not a great actress.
I mean, they're not forcing it, but they're definitely helping. Like, she's climbing of her own volition, and they're just giving her a boost. Oh, this is when we see the presidents changing. Yes. They go through like 3 presidents really quickly, but there's one man who's always to the left or the right of the president when he is waving from the presidential palace. And we learn that this is Colonel Juan Perón, the man behind the scenes, kind of like the right-hand man. And Che comments that he's a would-be dictator. but that he keeps blood off his hands by not taking on the number one position, always like second or third, and he's playing the long game.
Yes, absolutely. And it's at this point where I was like, is that Governor Swan?
Yes. Someone was just like, that can't be.
In a big Gibbs moment for me of just like, is that?
Again, 2 for 2.
2 for 2!
Phantom, we could have had Antonio Banderas, and the fact that we've had 2 Pirates of the Caribbean actors popping up, it's so funny. Then,
Suddenly,
to make matters worse, there's an earthquake the following year in San Juan, and it just, like, devastates.
So this is 1944. It's a huge historical event. Was really destructive. Perón
organizes a big fundraiser.
So to like raise money for people who were affected by this natural disaster.
We see our Augustine Night of a Thousand Stars guy again, because he's still famous.
Yeah. Though
it is backstage.
This is my one moment. Yeah, I think you're about to talk about it. Like their little interaction is the one moment.
Oh, I'll let you talk about it, but I was just gonna say backstage, Eva is chatting with like another government official, schmoozing. Yeah. And after his performance, Augustine comes backstage, and what does he say, Grace?
And so they run into each other, and she's like, oh, your act hasn't changed much. And he sort of looks her up and down and says, neither has yours. And then they leave. And I was like, ha! It's the one moment where I was like, damn, that was petty, and I enjoyed it.
You know why? Because it's the only fucking line of dialogue in this entire film.
I know!
Before that, Perón comes out on stage in front of the audience, and he starts to sing. It's just fucking Johnathan Pryce. Yeah. He sings like essentially like thank you all for being here, for making this possible. I think the song is called Charity Concert / The Art of the Impossible.
Yeah, and it's very much a populist message for the people.
Yes, that's the first time we get a taste of Perón's politics.
Yeah.
He goes backstage and Eva immediately clocks him. He's like, most important person in the room.
Got it.
Goes up, introduces herself. They've both heard of each other a lot. And it's kind of a cute thing of like, oh, well, I'm just like a lowly soldier. Oh, I'm just but a lowly actress.
Yes.
And they start to sing a duet, which is the funniest title to me. I'd be surprisingly good for you.
Yes.
And Eva starts it.
Yes, and it's very interesting. So Eva's obviously a social climber and always looking for the next step. And so she kind of sees him as the final step. But it's her selling herself, not necessarily like whenever she was younger, like just sexually. Like she is selling herself as a help to his administration of like I have a platform, I have a radio show, I have people who listen to me.
People like me, people know who I am.
Me, they know
they
who
listen
I am,
to me.
They know I came from the working class. And so she's selling herself as a huge help to his populist message, which is really interesting. Yeah. And obviously it is a seduction as well. Like they end up going back to her place and having sex. But
it's not just you.
It's not just about that. She is selling herself as an addition and a help to his campaign, not just a thing for him to have on the side.
She also ditches her date. He's like, did you come here with anyone? And she goes,
she's
no.
like, nope.
False. But you're absolutely right. They go home together. She takes him home. This is not a one-night stand, she says. And they kind of fall for each other over the course of this one song.
Yeah.
On a different night, after a different event, she goes home with him, and she kicks his mistress out of his bed.
There's a girl in his bed and she goes in being like, hi, I've replaced you. You've lost.
Yeah, your job's over.
Get out. And I'm just like, oh shit, this is brutal.
I thought she was just a prostitute.
No, I think she was her...
She's listed as Perón's mistress in the character descriptions. And I was like, shit. That song that Eva sings to the prostitute and then to Perón essentially is just like hello and goodbye. Like, hello, this is our life now together and we will rise together, and anything that is holding you back gets the axe.
Yes.
Cut to a polo match.
Okay, I have a question. Why is it whenever there's a rich person song, there has to be horses involved, and no one has any expression on their face? It's because the same in so many... Like, this is a theme now. This is the third musical.
It was My Fair Lady. It was Mame.
This one.
And now this. I mean... Horses are a rich person's sport.
I know, but
they're
it's just
incredibly
also
expensive.
Like, it's also just the aesthetic that they put all of these rich people in of just like
that's
reaction,
the funny thing.
look, and like all very clipped and no emotion, and I'm just like, man, this is like the musical theater trope of rich people.
This is the bit.
Yeah.
I had the same thought. I was just like, and this again.
Yep, here we are again. But so basically this is showing Perón is introducing Eva around as his date, as a legitimate, this is the person that I'm seeing. And the
it's not like he brought her to a bar, like he brought her to a major
a political
societal
event. Yeah.
Yes.
And everyone there is really not into her. These are all upper class people.
They're snobs.
Yeah, they're big snobs. And they are not pleased with this lower class, working class actress that has, in their minds, wormed her way into the bed of this incredibly important political figure.
And that she's taking him for a ride.
Right.
And using him versus them using each other and like actually being affectionate
and like
between them.
supporting each other and actually being in a relationship.
Also, immediately after that same song, we cut to the military, the soldiers, and the government officials who lead the soldiers essentially saying the same thing of that they don't like her.
Yeah.
They wonder who is using who in this relationship. They call her a slut.
Yeah. And a bitch.
It's bad.
And like, yeah. Now,
what did you watch this on?
Vimeo?
Oh, interesting. I watched this on Amazon Prime. It's on Disney Plus for free.
I looked it up on Disney Plus, but it wasn't on
maybe
New
not
Zealand
in New
one.
Zealand, yeah.
Yeah.
The reason I ask is there was one moment in this song where I wondered if they censored some of the lyrics for streaming services because they call her something else. It's not, you know what it was? In mine, they say she could be his last jade. But they're definitely saying whore. Mm-hmm. And they changed the lyrics for Amazon and maybe Disney Plus.
Interesting.
Jade didn't bother me. I was it's like a word I've heard before.
Yeah.
But I was watching someone's lips and I was like, that's not the word you're saying.
Said. Yeah. Interesting.
You're saying whore. Anyway.
Through this, we also see that she is using her radio show to push Perón's message and to push his political movement and his political agenda.
Yes, bolstering support for him as well as not brewing trouble, but if you hear people be vocal about oppression, you are more willing to be vocal about oppression as well.
Yes. When we see her at political speeches, we see her leading marches and protests and kissing babies and shaking hands with soldiers. So she's out there in the public eye, very actively supporting this person's political rise.
There's a quick scene. She's at some political event or social event, and Che plays a reporter and asks her why she's setting her sights beyond acting. Yeah. Kind of a stay in your lane comment, but she says, when I'm acting, the words aren't mine and I can't make as much of an impact. Right. So clearly she is taken this position that she has, being with Perón, and running with it with this new influence that she has, and also gaining confidence.
And she is very passionate about this cause. It's funny because it's not like she's faking this, oh, this is the only way to gain power or fame or whatever. She is looking for that, but also she seems genuinely passionate about helping the working class.
Yeah, she's passionate for Perón's cause.
Yes.
Which is probably part of the reason why they're so well matched.
Yes. Now,
and
there's
that
a
they're both
car
support
ride.
Working class families. Yes.
Yeah, so
did you get ominous music in this?
Yeah, big ominous music.
Yeah.
So in this car ride, Perón warns Eva that there are people that would hurt them for their ideas. And he actually considers leaving the country. Like, I could move to Paraguay and I would have a good life there. And Eva, in like a big Lady Macbeth kind of way, was just like, fuck no, do you not? And so she goes to the window and opens the window, and you hear people outside, like an entire crowd chanting his name.
And she makes a comment like, the government's made up of only 20 officials and we have the support of millions of Argentinians on our side.
And just then he goes to open up his door, and who's there but a bunch of the administration. And they
they've gotten out of the car. They've gotten out of the car and they're going into their house.
Yeah, they're in their house
apartment.
And
surprise, the government is already in the apartment, and they arrest him. They arrest him for... They don't actually explicitly say, but it's definitely... It's not a coincidence. He's being arrested because his star is on the rise and he has political influence.
Yeah, well, and also because his political influence is very much based in the workers' rights and in unions and all of that. And so, obviously,
which is not the current government's priority.
Yeah, the oligarchic hierarchy is not happy. Oligarchic. They are not happy with sort of the direction that the country is going.
And they're like, we'll throw him in prison
with him
and that'll solve this problem.
And then we get singing the song of angry men, but in Argentina.
Do you hear the people sing?
Yeah.
But the song is A New Argentina.
A New Argentina.
We get a montage of large crowds rallying for Perón. They know
Yeah.
he's in prison.
Yeah.
Ava uses her radio show again to bolster support. She attends these rallies as well. And then she goes to visit Perón.
In
Juan
jail.
is his first name. In prison. And he admits again, he's like, we could leave.
We could disappear.
And we don't need to put ourselves through this. And again,
And Lady
she's-
M over here is like, fuck no.
The great work begins.
Yeah.
But this is a good lyric, Sir
Yes.
Tim Rice. The lyric is, sometimes it's very difficult to keep momentum if it's you that you are following, which is meaning like it's very easy to follow a
The
leader.
momentum of your own.
If you need to be your own leader, I understand that it can be difficult, but you still have to keep going.
Yes. And we also see her giving a lot of speeches and connecting him with the workers' movement, where he loves you, he is you. If he was not one of you, he wouldn't love me. Really cementing
Yes.
herself as the female figurehead of the workers' movement. So after all of these riots and protests, the government releases Perón because there's just too much upswell
They're
about
like, this backfired.
Yep.
And we need to
Oops.
let him go. We don't have anything good to hold him on.
Yeah, and then he comes out of the jail and is reunited with Eva, and he does this thing that becomes a consistent political act where he removes his suit jacket, just like, I'm one of you, like, I'm here to chat and I'm here to get to work kind of vibe.
It's at this moment that so I have a little bit about descamisados. Are you going to talk about that?
No, go for it, please, because I didn't
That's like now,
I
so-
didn't look into that. Yeah.
It's at this point Perón also announces like he resigns from the army. He was a soldier. As soon as he gets out of jail, he resigns from the army, and he supports the descamisados now, which is it's not the official name of the working party. Descamisado is a derogatory term used by middle and upper classes to describe the working class. I think it literally means without shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it literally translates to shirtless ones.
Yeah.
So the reason he takes off his suit jacket, showing like, I'm one of you.
Yeah.
This is the quote. In the 20th century, so when this takes place, it was used as an insult by the elite of Argentina to describe Perón's followers. It was then reclaimed as a term of pride by his followers, with Perón and Eva affectionately referring to their followers as descamisados.
Right.
And when he toured in 1945 for president, he toured the country on a train that he named El Descamisado. Anyway,
getting back to this, we also see that Eva and Perón get married, so that's a thing.
yes.
So they're finally married, and then also we see an election happening, and he wins the presidency.
Yeah, Perón wins the presidency. And the final chorus notes of that song,
Yeah.
it was really
A
good.
New Argentina
It was really
is good. Like, it's
Yeah.
a good song.
You know it's good when it's 8 minutes on the soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly. Again, Song of Angry Men. So, then we get the famous balcony.
Oh, that's also the end of Act 1.
I thought the end of Act 1 was Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. Or is that the beginning of Act 2?
And that's the beginning of Act 2. I'm sorry. This is a film. There are no acts.
Yes.
But that is the end of disc 1 of the
Yes,
disc
that is true.
soundtrack.
That is true.
So I was just like, that's the end of Act 1. I'm going to look it up while you continue talking.
So this is then the famous balcony where the song Don't Cry for Me, Argentina happens.
It's at the presidential palace.
Yes, the Casa Rosada, the palace of whoever's in charge at the time.
Yeah.
And so Perón goes up and
I was right. The marriage is at the end of Act 1.
Okay.
And Don't Cry for Me, Argentina opens Act 2.
Amazing. So he gives this huge speech about, you know, his promises to do work for the people and with the people, and to do it with Eva at his side. He like uses her to really bolster the cheers, and the crowd is chanting his name, but as soon as he mentions her, they start chanting her name. So he goes inside to where a party is happening, grabs her, and like brings her out, and she starts to sing Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. And I mean, it's this huge...
Which is, if you know a song from Evita, it's this song.
It's this one. Yeah, absolutely. The crowd goes wild. And she goes inside, but they just keep chanting her name. And she goes back out and gives this huge speech about how they are going to take all of the treasures and jewels from the oligarchs and return the treasures to the people. And it's really
Redistribution
interesting.
of wealth.
Yeah, and redistribute wealth, basically. And it's interesting because you hear her voice being projected all over the country, and you see all of these working class poor people hearing this message. And then there's a quick cut, and you see all of the oligarchs also hearing this message. And it's like a real, our time has come, our time is over kind of vibe from them.
The French Revolution is here.
It's come, yeah. Then there's this really interesting quick moment.
Oh, I know, yeah. I wish that had been explored more.
A bit more, because the way that Eva and Juan have been presented so far is that they are actually genuinely fond of each other and in a very equal relationship. And then there's a quick scene after the election where Juan goes to Eva's room. They have separate rooms. And he tries to open her door, and she's locked the door so that he can't come in. And he walks away. She hears the handle turns back to her mirror, and he leaves. And it's such an interesting small scene that kind of...
And it's not resolved.
No.
It's never referenced again. And I
No.
wonder if there's cut scenes that were just
or if it's
missing.
a historical thing, like, because this particular representation of the life of Eva Perón is through a particular lens of someone who was not a fan of Eva. And so I'm curious how much of those small bits and pieces there come from that lens of the person who wrote it,
but
who
it's
was
never
not a fan of her in that
referenced.
administration.
Like marital strife is never referenced again.
I know.
So
it's really
kind of
weird.
like build off that further or don't mention it.
Don't mention it. Yeah, I didn't
because there's a
understand why
lot
it was
more
there.
going on already.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Anyway, cut to a ball.
Yes, it's the inauguration ball. It's if it's not the same night, it's the following night.
Yeah.
Che is there as a waiter. Again, I think he's our waiter, singing the song High Flying Adorned as he watches Eva and Perón at the event. They dance together. Eva dances with other people. It's at this point I learned she's only 26.
Yeah.
Wild.
She's so young.
The quote I have from the internet's synopsis of this is that Che is analyzing the price of fame for Eva in this, and like, has it been what she wanted it to be?
Well, and the higher you fly, the further
cost?
you have to fall kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And it's like you're promising the people so much, and the more you promise, the more you have to fail them on.
Yes. And I loved the transition from this song into the next song, which is Rainbow High, where we essentially get Eva's answer to the questions Che is asking, where this song is her essentially giving herself a makeover because she feels she doesn't want fame. She used to want fame, but she no longer wants it, but she understands the importance of what she represents, especially for the working class.
And she calls herself a product, which I found really interesting. So she was like, I am a product that I sold to the working class of proof of what they could be. So I need to be always over the top. I need to always be on.
Yeah. And so I say it's a makeover scene because we see her, there's lyrics of like, Dior me, and they need their escape and so do I. The song is called Rainbow High, and it's in reference to just like having a wardrobe that's all colors of the rainbow, and that she needs to hold herself to a status that is so high, it's as high as a rainbow.
Yeah. And soon after her makeover, we get another good transition from high flying to Rainbow High to Rainbow Tour. So she goes on a tour of Europe.
A solo tour.
So it's just her.
I thought her
Perón
husband was
stays at
with
home.
her for a second, but no.
And it's to establish, I mean, he has a new president. The country's been through a lot of turmoil recently, and it feels like she is going out to establish that they are here to stay. They are a legitimate government for the country.
Yeah, and new governments need allies.
Absolutely. And she goes out, and it seems to be going really well at first. Spain is really into her. She like fills an entire
really
stadium with like 45,000 people.
And we learn about this because we watch in between cuts of her actually living these experiences. We cut to like the Situation War room in Argentina, where Perón is sitting with two advisors and Che, because he's always there, watching film footage
Che,
of
who's
her
running
tours
the projector, so he's a projectionist.
And they are reporting, oh, Spain loved her. She filled this huge stadium. This is great.
But then she gets to Italy, and the people of Italy are not fans of her. They call her a whore. They throw things at her car. She does meet the Pope.
It's also because earlier on in the film, we didn't reference this, but Che makes a comment that Perón has fashioned himself a little after Mussolini.
Yeah, it's
and
a bit fascist.
Obviously, yeah, a bit fascist. And Italy's not going to be receptive to that.
No,
so that's
not at
part
all.
of the negative reaction. And then you're right. She meets the Pope, and she doesn't have a bad meeting with the Pope, but he doesn't give her the respect that he would a world leader. He gives her the respect that he would like a world leader's wife.
Yeah.
And she does have political influence, so that's definitely a snub. He only gives her a small gift.
Then she goes to France, and it starts going really well. The people of France really like her, but then we see this one moment at a theater where she leaves early and then collapses, and it's kind of unclear why. Like, is it exhaustion? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, she seems unwell.
Yeah.
Vaguely unwell.
And there is a funny line where they're like, oh, she might not make it to England, and they're like, England wasn't on the list anyway.
Yes. All right, Tim Rice, I have a bone to pick with you.
Tell me.
It's a recurring lyric in this song, and it's, would Eva win through? That doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't mean
that
anything.
Would she pull through? Would have been a better lyric. And I just...
and again, we are speaking from the basement and throwing stones upwards. We have no legs to stand on. But
I have no legs to stand on. But I was just like, surely something else.
There has to be something better here.
So Italy doesn't go well. When in France, Eva becomes unwell. She almost faints, and she returns. This is the end of that song. Yeah. She returns home to Argentina, and Perón turns to his advisors at the end of the song. He was like, do we think the tour went well? And they're like, yes.
It's like, yes, question mark.
Yes.
And so we then see a quick little bit.
Does she go back to England?
No, she never goes to England.
Then there's that British flag.
Is there?
That they keep showing. Yeah, at the next song when she's at the garden party.
I don't think that's in England. Maybe it's at an embassy or something.
Maybe it's the British embassy. I don't know. It's not important where it is, other than the fact that I was just like, I thought we didn't get to England.
Yeah.
I know she goes to England they kept showing the British flag, and I was like, why?
Weird. So we have a garden party with a bunch of rich people who are not happy with her.
Again, very big Royal Ascot vibes.
And it's interesting because she talks about how she's aiming to make the oligarchs disappear. And then in the next shot, there's no one at the garden party. They have literally disappeared. It was really interesting. But just then,
I loved it.
There's a bunch of workers at the gates. And Che is at the front saying, you talk a large game, but we aren't feeling the effects. We're still suffering. And so she is like, well, just wait a minute. I'm establishing a foundation to help. And so she creates
for charity work.
She creates the Eva Perón Foundation for charity work.
And this takes us into the song, and the money kept rolling in, then parenthetical and out.
Yes.
And you're right. This is a Shaky Sweaters charity.
A Shaky Sweaters charity,
We see her doing a lot of really good charitable work, opening up hospitals, but it's also heavily implied that there may have been some money laundering going on.
They do this wild thing where a bunch of people will show up to the foundation. They will write their name and what they need on this piece of paper. And then they throw all of the papers in the air. And Eva just grabs one out of the air. And that's the person that they're going to help.
It's like Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, it's insane.
During this time, Eva continues to also campaign for Perón. We see her still attending rallies, leading rallies on his behalf.
And especially mobilizing women to vote. And then it's revealed that she wants to be vice president, not just the wife of the president, but actually a political mover herself.
Yeah, and the government is like, whoa. Pump the brakes there.
Okay. And it's interesting. So there's this whole meeting with a bunch of guys in a room, and they're talking to Juan. And they're like,
the president,
this is a bad idea.
Mr. President,
this is a bad idea. And he's like, okay, but is it? Because we keep talking about doing things in here, but she's out there actually doing things. And okay, she's slowed down a little bit. She's lost a little bit of her fire, but don't hold that against her. We wouldn't still be here if it wasn't for her. And the end of the song is he's about to leave the room, and he says, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. And he leaves the room, and the rest of the government sings, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. And I was like, ooh, that's a little bit of discord
Spooky.
there.
Government spooky.
Cut to time passes by newspaper headlines.
Yeah, and we get the sense that there's some more political unrest and like people are not as happy with the Perones as they were
At the beginning.
Yes, and we see a scene from Parliament where one Parliament member who's clearly not a fan calls Eva Madame Pompadour, implying that she's all talk and no game.
Right, and then there's strikes from railway workers and the military, like, take care of it, that never goes well.
Yeah, and the presidential palace is, like, bombed at one point.
Gold reserves are low, like, it's a whole deal.
Unemployment is soaring, the economy is tanking, things are bad in Argentina.
Yes. During
this,
a night of riots, we see Eva go to the church to do a church thing. I'm not religious, y'all.
She takes the sacrament. Because she's a major political figure, she probably has to go to church at night because she can't go on like Sunday mornings with the public.
Yes.
So she goes for a private mass thing, and she receives the wafer, but she is about to drink the wine, and then this is bad acting. She has like a cramp or like a stomach pain, and she falls over.
This was a really bad moment because she like takes the wine and instead of like taking time to like react physically, she just goes, "Oh," and then falls over. It's like, what?
I was relatively pleased with Madonna in this, but that moment I was just like,
it was that moment, and then there was a moment in the waltz later on that I was just like, okay. Where she throws herself to the floor and she's acting like I can't stand up anymore. It's like, okay.
The waltz in general, I wasn't a fan of.
Okay, I was a fan of, we'll get there.
I was a fan of Antonio Banderas.
Okay, thank you. I know. I was just like, can we just have an entire movie of him dancing? And I was like, oh wait, Grace, there have been several of those. So she collapses at this ceremony and is carried out of it's church ceremony tradition, whatever. She's carried out of the church and taken to the hospital, and then we get this sort of dream sequence where basically
so she has to go into surgery.
Yes.
And once she puts the mask on to make you go sleepy time, she dreams that she has a scene, a waltz, a conversation. Are you done?
Yeah, sorry. We've got to get that mask to go sleepy time.
With Che. And because Che has kind of been this devil on the shoulder the whole time, the fact that they actually get to confront each other, the whole time I was just like, this was Mandy Patinkin. This was Mandy Patinkin.
It's basically an argument between the working class and Eva. And
via waltz.
Yeah, the whole working class. Where it's just him talking to her about how more could have been done and more should be done and people are still hurting and still suffering, and her talking about, well, I have done these things. It's a back and forth, and the dance, I could watch Antonio Banderas dance so, like, all the time. He's really he's a hot dancer.
He's hot. He's hot. He's just
hot, but then also he dance. Like, it's so funny because for me it's like the Channing Tatum effect where it's just like, okay, yeah, a conventionally attractive guy, but then he dances and I'm just like, oh, damn it.
I'm feeling the feminism leaving my body.
Shit. Anyway, so they have this
scene could have been so much more. Yeah. And I was really underwhelmed by it.
Because it's really the only time that they interact.
It is. You're absolutely right. Her argument back to him of like, why haven't you done the things that you said you were? She goes, I've done as much as I could with the time I have had. Mm-hmm. And I wish I had had even more time to deliver on the things that I have promised.
But my body is literally falling apart.
Well, we're like realizing that as she realizes it now. It's more of just,
because this is when she like falls to the floor and like clutches her stomach. And I'm just like, okay.
I found her acting really stilted in this scene.
Particularly, I found her really compelling in other scenes. And this one just didn't sell it for me.
I thought she was phenomenal in other scenes. And this one fell flat for me. And I was like,
which is too bad because this feels like the big crux.
It's an emotional crux. Yeah.
And like her being able to literally speak to the human representation of her people.
Yeah.
Anyway, cut back to the hospital. She wakes up and her husband is there and he tells her that through the song, I hate the title of the song, your little body is breaking apart.
Yeah, hate that title.
But
she's dying. She has terminal
emotional cancer. And one of my fun facts is about this scene as well, where like they had recorded everything in advance, but they had to record this scene on set because Madonna and Johnathan Pryce were actually crying so hard during this scene and like couldn't keep up with the recording that they ended up just recording it on set so that they could actually let the actors fully live through that emotional moment because they were both so affected by this moment of telling her that she's dying, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, always for more genuine emotion through song. I love that.
And also, it let the song be broken, which it should be. And I did enjoy how, as she got sicker, her voice also went, and it was quieter and less sustained notes. And so it wasn't like, I do find sometimes, Les Mis, where when someone's dying, they have a big, long held note, and you're like, but you're dying. Anyway.
That was the last of it. That was their soul leaving their body.
Yeah.
Her husband wants her to slow down, not campaign for VP. Essentially, like, you're burning the candle at all ends, and
you're on fire.
You are active. Like, the house is on fire.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm still strong enough to keep fighting. And it's at that point that he says, like, no, you are dying.
Yeah.
Like, we need to scale things back if you are going to make it through the night.
Yeah.
Cut to them leaving the hospital, returning home, and now it's time for the special song that was not in the musicale, the stage musicale, You Must Love Me.
Yes. And it's sung over top, so it's not...
Yeah, it's a voiceover.
And it's basically just, it was really interesting. So, like, concept of that song is, I'm no longer useful to you, I'm no longer useful to your career, but you're still here next to me, so you must actually love me.
Yeah.
Which is both a sad and a happy sentiment of just like, oh, it's kind of a validation of the relationship that we've put together, but it's sad that she didn't know that before.
Well, she spent so much time, so much of her argument for when she was campaigning for Perón was, he loves you because if he didn't love you, he wouldn't love me. Like, she's viewed herself as a tool for his campaign.
Well, and even back to their first night, she sells herself as a tool for his political career. And, like, as a partner, but not necessarily as a romantic partner, I guess. Or, like, a physical partner, but, like, love was never really part of the equation. And so I think this song really highlights for her that, oh no, we have developed a love that is more than just our careers. It's more than just our ideals. It's more than just our movement. It's about us. Which is...
Maybe that's why she has the door locked in that one scene. It's kind of like, we've achieved our goals, you're president now, like, what else would you want from me?
Right. Maybe.
I don't know. After that song, we see Eva preparing for what will be her final public broadcast from the palace. Now, it's not a broadcast in the way that the radio show is a broadcast. Like, it is walking out onto the presentational balcony with a microphone in front of an adoring crowd.
Right.
The song is called Eva's Final Broadcast.
Yes.
And in this, she addresses the crowd and she says that she is declining the vice presidency, and she thanks the people for wanting that for her and for supporting her should she have gone after it.
Right.
And she reaffirms, oh, you wanted this for me, and I thank you so much.
Yeah.
And she reaffirms her love for the Argentinian people.
Yeah. She has a brief reprise of Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. And then...
I thought the acting was good in this
Yeah.
scene.
No, I mean, her speeches to the public were always really good and fiery and, like, definitely compelling. It was just that one fucking waltz. Anyway.
Yeah. We got a Tony tier in this song.
We did.
Then we see the entire country singing a Latin chant, essentially. And I thought that meant she had died.
No,
already.
Shockingly, me too. This is basically their prayer for her and hope for her and potentially
I don't
recovery.
speak Latin.
I don't speak Latin.
How would I have known what they were saying?
No idea.
That they were praying.
But there is basically a huge crowd surrounding the place where
palace.
She's at. I think it's called the Quinta de Olivos, something like that.
I just called it the palace the whole time.
And we cut inside and we see her speaking with Perón and basically preparing him to go on without her.
She's on her deathbed. She is.
Oh yeah, she's in her deathbed. She ends up just saying, you know, I mean, my life had to have been short because I shone like the brightest fire. And
she burned all the candles.
She burned literally all of the candles.
She burned all of the Phantom's candles. Any leftover candles after the Phantom left, she took them.
She took them, burned them. So outside we see it. Damn it, Anna, we can't keep laughing when characters die.
She says, essentially, she's like, I could have had a long life or a bright life, and I chose a bright life.
And
outside,
yes.
this large crowd is holding a candlelight vigil to pray for her recovery. They're watching the light of her bedroom.
Yes.
And when the light goes out, they know that she has passed.
And I'm like, she went to sleep.
It's like the white smoke of the papal
the Pope thing.
choosing. What? It's not inauguration. It's a choice. They vote.
Election?
The Pope vote. Yes. It's like that.
He was a skater Pope. She said, see you later, Pope.
We see, I'm just gonna ignore that. The flag flies at half-mast, and we see thousands of citizens lining up to see her coffin at the church. Che sings the finale song, which is Lament, in the church. And he, despite how their differences, he admits that he was like, I have to respect her for all the
amount of influence and work that she had in a very short amount of time.
I mean, she died when she was like 33-ish.
Yeah. Very young.
And she was 26 when Perón was elected.
Yeah.
Anyway, the film ends with Che, like, walking up part of the procession, kissing the glass coffin, and then joining the crowd. And that's how the movie fucking ends.
And it was such a lackluster ending. I wanted a bigger note.
Very lackluster.
I wanted like a big
it was very
finale.
somber, but also it's a true person's story. Like,
I'm not talking about like lackluster in terms of plot. I'm talking lackluster musically. I just wanted something a bit more.
Yeah. I wanted... How does Les Mis end? We
Right?
have to stop referencing Les Mis.
Because it feels the same, right? It's an historical event told through the lens of musical theater.
Like, give me some hope at least. But here's the thing, and I'm probably going to cut this. Like, Argentina continued to go downhill after she died. So we don't have a lot. Maybe that's why they were like, we can't end this hopefully because we know how
there is none. Oh, no.
We know what happens. Yeah, I mean, after Valjean dies in Les Mis, the final song is the reprise of Do You Hear the People
Which
Sing?
is such a big, like, if there had been a reprise of, what is it, a New Argentina?
Yeah.
I feel like just the people singing as they passed.
Yeah.
As they passed the
That would've
coffin.
been nice.
And then Che having this final moment and then him joining that chorus and moving on.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been
ending
really...
on a hopeful note.
Yeah.
Versus, and the last song literally being called Lament.
Yeah.
It might be a historical choice because Argentina continued to have like major economic and political upheavals immediately after her death. I don't know.
Anyway, that's the end, y'all.
My notes at the end, all caps. That's how it fucking ends? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah.
Wild. What? 6 full minutes of credits? I bet I can do all my dramaturgy in that time.
Did you?
I did.
Amazing. Yeah, I wrote TBH lackluster ending. Like,
Grace, what'd you think of this movie?
God, I wanted it to be better. And I think my main issue is that there was just no break. I need some sort of comic moment or just
like, again, not to keep referencing Les Mis, but like we have the Thénardiers for a reason.
And I think that's the thing that really, like, you just have to have something. I mean, this is why they put Officer Krumke in Act 2 of West Side Story, is because you just have to have something to break up the intensity.
You need levity.
And it's a very intense
Maybe
musical.
there is in this... Maybe in the stage musical, there's some more moments of that, some more B characters, or just, like, I don't know, humor? But this was just like a 2-hour, 14-minute slog of political...
machinations
and people suffering.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot. And I wanted a better finale. Like, the music is really good. The lyrics are mostly good. I have questions every now and then, both for the music and the lyrics.
Yeah.
I do enjoy historical musicals.
I just love that Andrew Lloyd Webber's like, I'm gonna write whatever melody I want, and I don't care if it's not pretty.
Doesn't
like that
matter.
First song.
Well,
that
even
very
the
first song.
notes that they used to chant Perron's name, we didn't talk about that, but they're very...
Oh, yeah.
But it's very off-putting.
It is.
It's dissonant and, like, in a minor key, which is weird. Anyway, should we do some
Drink some dramaturgy? I'm really regretting not picking up a 6-pack of beer when I was at the deli earlier, because I would have loved to have had a beer after this.
Yeah.
I would love to do some drinks and dramaturgy.
Yeah.
All right, ready for a little dramaturgy report? Dramaturgy report. This was directed by Sir Alan William Parker, an English filmmaker. He started his career as a copywriter and TV advertisements director.
Yep.
He then made the leap after 10 years to screenwriting and directing films. He's known for the fact... This is... Sorry. I feel like I say this a lot, so I'm realizing it's more common of a refrain than I realized. But the idea of, like, insert director name here was known for using a wide range of filmmaking styles and genres, which is just, like, he did a lot of different things.
Did a lot of
that's
things.
Lazy... That's lazy, and I'm mad at these websites who lean on that. But anyway, he did a lot of different stuff. He did musicals, including Bugsy Malone, the 1980 Fame, Pink Floyd The Wall, and then Evita in 1996. He also did true story dramas like Midnight Express and Angela's Ashes in 1999. He also did like family dramas and horrors and thrillers. He did a lot of stuff, but not as much stuff as the cinematographer. Okay,
Tell me.
Cinematographer's name is Darius Kanji, and I don't think we've seen him before. He's an Iranian French cinematographer.
Ooh.
Buckle up. After Evita, he did... Talk about whiplash.
Yeah.
Alien Resurrection.
Fantastic.
Panic Room.
Ooh.
Midnight in Paris. To Rome with Love. Uncut Gems. And most recently, Bong Joon-ho's most recent film that's coming out in 2024 called Mickey 17.
Oh.
Wild.
Insane.
All over the place.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I have for them. I was just like, that's wild.
Fantastic.
All right. I know you have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, to talk a little bit about how this entire concept came together. So this started as a concept album, like a rock opera concept album, very similar to how Hadestown started as like a concept album.
And also like Jesus Christ Superstar.
That too, but like I'm looking for something a little bit more modern just to help. Anyway.
Okay, I'm just like, we've done, Andrew, this is not his first, this is not his first concept album.
No. So it started as a concept album, which was released in 1976. And how this got put together. So Tim Rice, in like 1973, heard a radio show about Eva Peron, and he was a stamp collector as a kid and had a bunch of her, like the stamps of Argentina at that time had a lot of her because she was such a huge part of the country. So he began looking into it and investigated her life and eventually traveled to Buenos Aires to research her life. And he became really fascinated by her. And he actually named his first daughter after her. So he suggested the idea of a musical based on this subject to Andrew Lloyd Webber and was like, what if our score was like all about tangos and pasodobles and that sort of thing? But Andrew Lloyd Webber rejected this and he decided to go collaborate on a more traditional style musical called Jeeves. Now that bombed. So he went back to Tim Rice and was like, so what was that again? So they began developing this musical. Now, the main book that they took it from was the book Evita: The Real Life of Eva Peron, which was based on the Mary Maine's biography, Woman with the Whip, which was very critical of Eva Peron. So their source material was very critical of the Peron government in general. So Tim Rice ended up creating Che, the character, to serve as like the narrator and the representation of the lower class. And then later on, when Harold Prince, as I mentioned earlier, became involved, then it got portrayed into a much more like an actual character of Che Guevara, like the radical, not as like a representation of the working class. It was like supposed to be him, actually. And then, of course, in the movie, it went back to sort of an anonymous person. So it originated in the West End production, and then it went to Broadway. Now, they did not bring the West End cast over. They had their own new cast for Broadway. And it ended up giving a little over 1,500 performances before it closed. Now, Robert Stigwood, the producer of the West End production, really wanted a film version of Evita and went to actually the director of the musical Fame, but that director ended up turning it down because he had just done Fame in 1980 and he didn't want to do back-to-back musicals. So then the film rights kind of turned into a bidding war, and Stigwood ended up discussing the project with John Peters, who promised that he could convince his then girlfriend, Barbra Streisand, to play the leading role if he was allowed to produce it. But Stigwood said no, because he wanted to remain the sole producer. They ended up holding auditions with like a bunch of different actresses, and I'll go through the whole list of the people that they were looking into. Like Carla DeVito auditioned. Liza Minnelli was a huge front runner for a really long time. They really wanted a more established film actress. They also talked about Elaine Page, who originated the role on the West End. I'm pretty sure Elaine Page was also dating Tim Rice at the time.
She was!
Yeah. Eventually, Russell was fired from the project after he said that he would not do the project without Liza Minnelli, and so Stigwood was just like, then I guess you're not fucking doing the project. Madonna ended up meeting with Stone and Andrew Lloyd Webber in New York to discuss the role, but it fell through because she wanted to rewrite the score. She's like, I am Madonna.
No,
I will
I can do it
rewrite
better.
the score. And so they were just like, no, absolutely not. So then they approached Meryl Streep for the lead role. And she learned the entire score in a week, and Stigwood said of her, not only can she sing, but she's sensational, absolutely staggering. But she began increasing her compensation request and demanded a pay-or-play contract with a 48-hour deadline, and ended up, it just didn't go through. So she ended up removing herself from the project and then coming back a little bit later, but by then it was too late. So unfortunately, Meryl Streep was no longer in the running to do this. So in 1994, Alan Parker signed on to write and direct the film after being approached by Stigwood. While drafting the script, Parker was really into researching Eva's life and compiling like newspaper articles and documentaries and like actual historical bits from her life instead of just working from the musical score. And so he ended up opting to go more towards the concept album and not using the script from the musical as much, so that he could add in a little bit more historical accuracies. But again, remember that the historical nature of the music itself is coming from a very biased perspective. For the movie, they knew that they needed to adjust some of the music. And so Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber, who hadn't worked together for a really long time by 96, ended up coming back together to compose some new music that changes, like the interstitial music that goes in between songs and in between scenes. And then, of course, they also wrote the song that Madonna sings. What's it called? If You Love Me?
You Must Love Me.
You Must Love Me, yeah. They also, with the assistance of the U.S. Department of State and Senator Chris Dodd, arranged a private meeting with the head of Argentina at the time to discuss permission to actually film in Argentina at the presidential palace so that they could actually have the big balcony scene in the location where it actually happened. Eventually, they did get permission to do this, but the leader at the time, Menem, I think it's pronounced, he advised them, like, be prepared to face protest. She is still a very beloved figure in our country, and if anyone feels like there is any sort of disrespect or dishonor towards her, you're going to face a lot of protests if you're here.
Yeah.
So, that was how this all got made. Now, as I mentioned before, Antonio Banderas was the first actor to secure a role in the film. He was cast as Che and remained involved through a lot of those directorial changes that we went through that I talked about. After Madonna got shut down for, like, let me rewrite the entire score, in 94, she ended up sending the director Parker a 4-page letter explaining why she felt she was the best person to portray Eva. She would be fully committed to the role. She sent him a copy of one of her music videos as, like, an audition, which I find to be hilarious. She's like, in case you forgot. Parker insisted that if Madonna was going to be Evita, she had to know who was in charge. This was not going to be a glorified Madonna music video. Parker was like, I am in control. You are a part of the vision. You are not the vision. So Tim Rice was really a big fan of Madonna being Evita because he felt like she could act beautifully through her music, though Andrew Lloyd Webber was a bit nervous because obviously everyone sang their own parts. There was no dubbed voices for this. Madonna ended up undergoing vocal training with the coach Joan Lader to increase her own confidence in singing the songs and project her voice in a much more cohesive manner, because she doesn't have a musical theater style voice. And so for the first time, she was taught to, like, use her diaphragm and project in a different way so she wasn't singing just through her throat. And apparently Madonna was quoted as like being really excited with all the new tones and depths that her voice could now do, which is what training is all about. So she was really excited about the whole thing and really enjoyed the process of the vocal lessons to expand her range and deepen the quality of her voice, which is already really incredible.
Improve her technique.
Improve her technique and the staying power, because again, Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals are difficult. So that's sort of how all of that got put together. Do you want to talk about reception and how the movie did?
Yeah. So really interestingly, in May of 1996, the director kind of unusually created a 10-minute trailer of Evita to show at the Cannes Film Festival for reporters, film distributors, and critics. I don't know if that's super common. I feel like it's either the standard 90-second trailer and then the film premieres at Cannes. But no, 10-minute teaser. Okay. And the trailer received very positive response. It did do well at the box office. However, it had mixed reviews from critics. You commented that this is not a Madonna music video. Some critics felt that it was. Some notably commented that it did not feel. I pulled one quote, which is, "It's a relief to say that Evita is pretty damn fine, well cast and handsomely visualized. Madonna once again confounds our expectations. She plays Evita with a poignant weariness and has more than just a bit of star quality. Love or hate Madonna, she is a magnet for all eyes."
That's true.
Which I found fantastic. I also, while you were talking about the creation, I found in terms of Madonna having to relinquish control, I found a soundbite from her. Because again, she had little to no control over the project, and she allowed that to happen because they wouldn't let her rewrite the whole score. She said, "I'm used to writing my own songs, and I go into a studio, choose the musician, say what sounds good or doesn't. To work on 46 songs with everyone involved and not have a big say was a big adjustment."
And I can absolutely see that.
And also talk about like an ego, not an ego hit, but an ego adjustment.
Yeah.
Understanding your role within a project when you have been used to having executive decision, like executive
control
function, essentially.
Yeah.
So that's all I have for reviews and reception. Do you want to talk about singing and dancing?
Yeah. Apparently it was quite, so they recorded everything in advance and then basically lip sang on set, except for that one song which I mentioned.
Your Little Body is Breaking Down.
God damn it.
The worst title.
Yeah, apparently it was quite a nerve-wracking experience. So Andrew Lloyd Webber was very critical of the recording arrangements done. The cast was also very nervous. Banderas was quoted as saying the experience was scary. Madonna was quoted as saying that she was petrified when it came to recording the songs. Quote, "I had to sing Don't Cry For Me, Argentina in front of Andrew Lloyd Webber. I was a complete mess
anyone would be scared of that.
Sobbing afterwards. I thought I had done a terrible job." Like, it sounds like the worst possible experience because Andrew Lloyd Webber, one, wasn't very supportive of the experience, and it's also very intimidating to sing with an 84-piece orchestra, apparently, and have to sing that in front of the guy who wrote it. It's just, I completely understand. Vocally, I mean, obviously Madonna's an incredible singer, and I think that she really did stretch her range vocally in this role. I thought she did a really good job most of the time. Anna and I have just been saying this entire time that we're just so mad now because I didn't know Antonio Banderas could sing, and now that he's could have been Phantom. Anyway, and then also Johnathan Pryce. Out of nowhere. I didn't know that he could sing. I knew he was a stage actor, but I did not know that he could sing, and he held his own. All three of the main people were really good.
But you want to know something funny?
Yeah.
He was already like a big West End, this is Johnathan Pryce I'm talking about. He was already a big West End actor by that point. This is in the 90s. Yeah. In the 80s, he played Hamlet. He won an Olivier for that, but he didn't sing. And it wasn't until he saw his friend Patti LuPone in Les Mis that he was like, I want to do musicals. And then he's a fantastic singer.
Oh,
like,
okay.
What? I just thought that was, because I did a little bit of digging on him. Because I was like, what else has he done? Jesus.
Yeah. Anna, do you have any gripes?
That Antonio Banderas should have been the Phantom.
I mean,
that's my gripe.
That's my gripe. I think also, maybe I just wasn't in the right mood, but it just didn't hit me emotionally. And I'm curious if it would as a stage production.
Did we talk about dancing?
Did we talk? We didn't talk about dancing.
We talk. I mean, there's not much. It's just grief waltzing,
Grief waltzing, and then the waltz between Che and
anesthesia
Eva.
waltzing.
Yeah, and anesthesia waltzing. And again, I could watch Antonio Banderas dance all day, every day. He's a hot
I can
guy,
watch him,
and he dances
I can watch him
sexily.
do anything.
And I'm just like, okay, more please. God, what's that movie that he's in with all of the high school students and he's teaching them to dance as a part of detention?
I don't know. He's done so much.
I know. Dance. Take the Lead, 2006.
I don't know that one.
Oh man, Anna, I'll send you a clip of him dancing in that one because it's a lot.
Man, between Shrek and Spy Kids, he really did well in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole Puss in Boots spin-off.
Oh God, amazing.
Do you have any giggles?
No, and this is my gripe. My gripe is that there's no giggles.
I thought I had a giggle from. Oh no, it's an anachronism. It's like a fun fact. It's a fun fact.
Well, what's your fun fact?
Seeing as how we don't have any moments of joy.
No, yeah, honestly.
Well, I will say, they do clock that the soldiers' lip movements don't match the words sung in Perron's latest Flame, so I feel justified in that.
Validated.
But this is a fun fact. So, in the film, when they get married, they walk out the church and there's just like a crowd of well-wishers and photographers. However, in real life, they were married in absolute secrecy, with the only guest being one of Perron's ministers and Eva's mother. Like, there were no photographers.
Nope.
Oh, and then the other one is, so in the film, in the charity concert that Perron organizes for the 1944 San Juan earthquake, Agustin Magaldi performs. However, he had been dead like 8 years by that point. Or 6 years. 6 years by that point.
My fun fact is, when Madonna first arrived in New York and was just auditioning like as an actress, she tried out for a role in Evita, and the director turned her down but told her she would never have a role in Evita. So after she filmed this, she sent him a copy of the final print, which is just delicious. I love that.
So salty. I love it. That's the level of saltiness I try to
that I aspire to. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I think that's all she wrote.
Anna, do you have any homework?
Oh. No. I don't.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
I found it interesting, and if you are a history person and you are not familiar with the Perrons' legacy and influence and history of their political ambitions in Argentina, research that.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much if you're into the history of this, look a little bit more into the history. There are a couple of books that are a little bit less biased than the one that they based a lot of their research on. So yeah, there's a couple of books that are really interesting that I might look into, or just I don't know, read some articles.
Yeah. But I think that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Well, if you're still here, this has been Evita with 5678, a movie musical podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. I have been Anna.
I'm still Grace.
Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Have a good rest of your night. We'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know.